For 2.5 years, this RV was home for our family of 6, and the building sitting beside it was never supposed to be our house. When we bought this property, it was just an old shed filled with somebody else's things. But while we lived in this RV, little by little, that shed became the home you see behind it today. We've actually been living in the house for about a year now, but the RV stayed right where our new life began, until now. When we first came to look at this property, this building was so full of junk that most of us didn't even go inside. AC walked in a little ways with the realtor, but the rest of us pretty much stood back and watched. There were no rooms, no wall separating spaces, and nothing about it that made us look at it and think that could be our home. It was just a big open shed that looked like it had been used for storage. After we closed on the property, we paid someone to clean and gut the building for us. And funny enough, the person we found through Facebook to help with some of the land clearing turned out to be our next door neighbor. He helped us out a lot while we were still in Louisiana getting ready to make the move. He cleared our driveway and turned around and leveled the pad where we would eventually park the RV. As for the pole barn, our only real plan for it was storage. We needed somewhere to put everything we were bringing from Louisiana. Once we moved here, we ran power to it. It became our laundromat. We stored tools and belongings in it. I even used part of the open space for my workouts. At that point, it was useful, but it still wasn't a house, and turning it into one wasn't even the plan.
Our plan was to build further up on the property. I rented a machine, cleared a road going up the hill, and made a pad where we thought the new house would eventually sit. We were looking at building a barndominium up there. At that point, that was the direction we thought we were headed.
I started gathering different floor plans and taking ideas from each one to create the layout we wanted for the barndominium. But once we started talking to builders, the numbers weren't working for us. Barndominiums had become much more expensive than they were when we first started looking into them. And there was another problem we had to deal with. When we bought the property, we didn't realize there was a limit on how long we could live here in the RV. We found out that we had 180 days. We did have someone come out and give us a price to build the house we wanted, but the price sounded too good to be true. Something about it just didn't feel right to us, so we decided not to move forward. Meanwhile, that 180-day deadline was getting closer. We went to a town hall meeting, explained what we were doing, and thankfully they worked with us. As long as they could see that we were building and making progress, they gave us more time. But the original house we planned to build still wasn't happening. And eventually, instead of looking farther up the hill at the house we hoped to build, we started looking at the building that was already standing right beside us. That's when everything changed. The pole barn already had power. The structure was already here. We had already cleaned it out, and suddenly we started looking at it differently. Could we actually take this old shed and turn it into a home for 6 people? So I went back to the floor plans. This time, instead of designing something for a house we would build from the ground up, I started looking for layouts that could work with the structure we already had. I took ideas from different plans and started drawing out how we could make the most of the space. We didn't doubt that it could become a house. What scared us was figuring out how we were going to do it ourselves. I remember thinking, We don't even know how we're going to put up the first wall, let alone build an entire house. But then those first walls started going up. The first 2 rooms we framed would become our kids' bedrooms, and that changed everything. For the first time, we could walk into an actual room. We could see hallways and separation. That big open shed finally started showing us what it could become. We closed in the old carport and extended it to make our master bedroom. Then we added another room onto the back that became our sunroom. Little by little, the shape of the building changed. And little by little, the old shed started disappearing. But while all of that was happening, this was still home. 6 of us lived together in this RV for 2.5 years. And believe it or not, the hardest part for me really wasn't the size. We made the space work. There was love in there. There was laughter. There was closeness, and there was definitely never a dull moment. Everybody had their place, and somehow we settled into a rhythm that felt normal to us. The biggest struggle for me was actually the humidity. With 6 people breathing, cooking, and living in such a small space, moisture built up constantly, and mold became something we had to stay on top of.
For me, the hardest part was the storms. When bad weather came through, I was always thinking about how safe we were inside an RV. There was one time when a tornado was coming through the area, and we actually got in the vehicle and drove away from the direction they said the storm was coming. Those were the times when living in an RV felt different from living in a house.
Then there were the winter storms. Sometimes we joke about it now and say we were living like people back in the frontier days, preparing for whatever the weather was about to throw at us. It wasn't always funny while we were going through it, but some of those memories make us laugh now. The RV had its challenges, but it was also our little oasis. No matter what was happening outside of it, we were together, and that made it home.
That's a snow angel.
And right outside that RV, we could watch the pole barn changing. It didn't happen overnight. It happened one little piece at a time. And every new piece gave us a little more hope. A window would go in. The old opening would get closed in and become a window. Then we cut out the space for the new front door, and suddenly there was an actual entrance where one had never existed before. Those small changes started making the vision feel real. Walls went up, rooms took shape, insulation went in. The inside slowly stopped looking like one big open shed. And the strange thing is, because we were living right beside it, we were able to watch almost every stage of that transformation happen right in front of us. One of the biggest milestones was finishing the bathrooms. That may not sound like the most emotional part of the building of a house, but for us it meant something huge. It meant we could live here. That was when the building stopped feeling like only a construction project and started becoming our home. But even after we moved inside, when you looked at it from the outside, there was still something missing. We had already transformed the inside, but the porch changed something completely different. It changed how the house felt when we looked at it. We watched the roof go up, then the wood details. The steps and railing gave the front more shape. The ceiling and fans made it feel like a place where we could actually sit down and stay a while. Each part added something, but when it all started coming together, the building finally stopped looking like the old pole barn we started with. For me, the porch is what really made it feel like home. It gave me that feeling you get when you see one of those beautiful family homes in a movie or a commercial. I could look out here and almost picture our future grandkids running up and down this porch one day. It gave me a picture of the future, but there was still one thing sitting in front of everything we had built, the place that used to be our home. After all these years, it was finally time to move it. And I were standing on the porch watching all of this happen. And I wish I could show you our faces, but the truth is, none of us thought about turning the camera around. We were just standing there watching. After looking at that RV in the same place for 2.5 years, it almost didn't seem real to see it moving away. The first thing I remember thinking when it moved was, wow, look how bright it is. I don't even know how else to describe it. It was like all of this light suddenly opened up around the house. It almost felt like the RV had been a shadow hiding the beauty of the property. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. There was a time when we needed that RV, and it was home. But we don't need it to be home anymore. It had done its job.
All right, so what do you guys remember most about the RV?
I remember always being scared of the dark and had to turn my light and everybody had to put their pillows in their faces.
Yeah, even though we were all like right there in the same room, like cuddled up together. Mm-hmm. And she was still afraid of the dark. Now that I go back inside the RV and I looked at it, I'm like, we were right there, so how could you be that scared of the dark?
I remember the late night karaoke's, karaoke nights. We used to dance, have fun. Mama used to sing all night when her voice would finally wake up.
She always had a cranky voice.
I remember during that time I wanted to play the game, but she was singing all night, so I had to just head straight to bed.
Yeah, I said our first Christmas in the RV. We had a good time. We had a bunch of presents like stacked up, and then I remember that night we did karaoke as well. It was very fun.
Yeah.
All right, so what did y'all think when y'all saw it moving?
More space now, and we could, it brought a lot of light in. At first it felt like it was kind of blocking everything, blocking us from seeing the road and the beautiful view that we have.
When did this building start to feel like a home? Or does it feel like a home?
It's been home, to be honest. It was always my home.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
We didn't get rid of the RV. We just moved it further over to the left of the property, where we cleared another place for it. Right now, we're using it to store some of our tools and building materials. Eventually, we'd like to go back through it, fix it up, and use it for what I originally wanted the RV for in the first place, taking the family on trips.
And the place where the RV used to sit won't stay empty forever. Eventually, we would love to turn this into a sitting area with a fire pit. Somewhere we can have campouts, spend evenings together, have family gatherings, or just sit outside by a fire. The place that held one chapter of our story can become somewhere we make new memories. When I look at this house today, I don't just see a house, I see a journey. And a big part of that journey has been watching AC keep going after something he wanted for our family. He spent years looking for land we could afford and truly call our own. And when one plan didn't work, he didn't stop. He adjusted and kept moving. That's really what this whole place represents. But none of us got here alone. I drew plans around the building we had. We learned as we went. The kids sacrificed, helped, and grew right alongside this house. Together we took what we had and kept building. And today, AC can pull up onto land that belongs to us, walk into a home he helped build with his own hands, and step onto this porch knowing what it took for our family to get here.
They crow more than anybody.
Yeah, it used to be what's his name, and I guess he.
If we could go back and say one thing to the family who had just moved into that RV 2.5 years ago, it would simply be this: your sacrifice paid off. Well done.